And we are live, guys. It is July 18th, 2018. If you are hopping on our call, please go ahead and mute yourself. If you forget, I'll go ahead and do it for you. Tonight's call is going to be amazing. I have our team on, and then I also invited a couple my success partners. I invited their teams if they wanted to hop on. So there will be a recording of this if you guys want to go back and take notes, but this was like I have been wanting Keichun to talk to you guys for a really long time, and prepping for Summit and then Summit, and now coming back home, I thought this was like the perfect time because her energy is going to resonate to so many of you on our team. She is just super fun. I've known her for many years. She always gets me excited. She paints visions for me. She helps me goal set. She just really has just always believed in me. And so I'm really happy to share her because she accepted with you guys. So if you're hopping on, I'll let her introduce herself. But thank you so much for being here. And I can't wait to get started. So take it away, Miss Keichun.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Kristen mentioned we've been trying to set this up, and I feel like this is the perfect time for us to talk specifically about exactly what you guys need to get from our conversation. One of my favorite things to talk about is mindset and belief, and how to begin to instill some of those things in yourself. But as we were talking about what you guys needed to hear, it was kind of all over the place. And I was like, you know what? Let's do something a little bit different. So in my preparation, I let go of what I thought you needed to hear, and I'm going to allow this conversation to go where you need it to go. So I really challenge you guys to be extremely selfish. I call it being generously selfish. The more that we are selfish in this conversation, the more generous we can be later on. So take this opportunity for you to get exactly what you need to get from this conversation. We're going to be talking about what's working well, because the bulk of our conversation is going to be on what's not working so well. And I don't think that we should ever talk about what's not working so well unless we're talking about what's working well also. And then we'll kind of brainstorm as a group, because I think that is where our strength lies. Our strength lies in the fact that we are team Beachbody, and there's not one thing that I'm going to, we together can come up with better ideas than just one person speaking at you. So that's kind of the vision that I have for our conversation tonight. Does that sound okay with you guys? Okay. Now it is Wednesday. It's the 18th. We're talking about Beat Your Best. And I've really been encouraging people to have like a beat your best mindset this month. So meaning in addition to the actual contest of beat your best, where we're helping more people than ever before, you're striving to beat your best in the amount of people that you've helped with the challenge pack, i.e. Success Club. You're striving to help your coaches help as many people as they have before with that star medal. So you're going for the medals, but I've been really encouraging people to have a holistic beat your best mindset this month. Meaning, if you find yourself doubting yourself, as soon as you realize that that's a doubt, because we're human beings, like we're allowed to have those doubts. We're allowed to have those doubts while we're working on suppressing those doubts. Like we are allowed to have that. I think that too often we try to run away from negativity. It's like, no, it's okay to allow it to happen. It's not okay to stay there. But if you are one that notices, oh, I have doubts that creep up. Oh, I have negative thoughts that creep up. Oh, I have bad self-talk that creeps up that I wouldn't say to my daughter. I wouldn't say to my challengers. As soon as that thought happens, suppress it. Think something positive. Go take action. Maybe you've never done a program from start to finish, including the nutrition. Allow this month to be a beat your best mentality with that. Maybe you've never actually sat down and done the 4 vital behaviors like consistently 4 or 5 days in a row. Why don't you allow this to be a beat your best mentality around that? And same goes with this idea of if it's not a heck yes, it's a no. So it's Wednesday, it's the 18th. We're beating our best this month. This call is being recorded. And so before we get into what's working well, what's not working so well, and us brainstorming the things that are not working so well together, if you have not completed your business, your to-do list today, with love, and I hope that you receive this with love, go get off this call. Go finish that. This call is being recorded. I selfishly want you to be here, but more than all that, I want you to win your day. That's what this beat your best mindset is about. And I'm a people pleaser. And so for me, I say yes often. And I have to live by that quote. If it's not a heck yes, it's a no. And so if you have business to take care of, if you have invites that you have not done, if you have a follow-up that you have not done, if you have a share cart, someone who's waiting for that share cart link, exit this call, go finish your business, and then, hey, come back. We might still be here, or if not, you listen to the recording. Okay, I'm off my high horse. I'm Keichun Graves, y'all. I am the Southeast Region Manager. We're on the coach development team. I work with the 3 through 8 star diamonds, specifically on goal setting. Most of you guys already know your goals, at least your personal goals. If you don't know the Beachbody goals that align with your personal goals, that's what I'm here for. We reverse engineer what those smaller goals should look like, those bite-sized pieces, as we work to reach those more audacious goals. And then I hold you accountable. I do one-on-one calls, I do masterminds, and just an additional resource out there to make sure that you have what you need to reach your goals. So use us. Even if you don't live in the Southeast region, regardless of where you live, maybe you're in the UK, there's someone for you. We have mentors all across the United States, across the pond, in Canada, all over. So take advantage of us if you want. But know this, I feel what you guys are going through as entrepreneurs, as people who are striving to run life and maybe even work a corporate job or work a job and building this business on the side as a fellow entrepreneur. So let's talk about what's working well, what's not working so well. So this is the opportunity for you to get exactly what you need from our conversation. Unmute yourselves. Hey, if you're able to, let me see your beautiful face. I want to see our family. I want to see who I'm talking to. But unmute yourself and then give us, if you're going to say something that's not working well, you have to say something that's working well. And I can call people out, but I've found that people actually don't like that. So everything's working pretty well. So if that's the case, then tell us what's working well.
Hi, Keichun. Can you see me?
Yes, Bianca. Hey.
Hi. So I'm driving. I just came to pick up my daughter from work. Like, say hi now. Hi.
Hey.
So hi. It's so good to see you on our call. I'm so happy to see you.
Uh-oh, we lost you. Or maybe I lost you.
I have a headphone on with my phone. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. So you want to know what's working well, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what's working well is working with my team. We just did a free group last week, and that worked really, really well. We opened up our challenge group, and we did like a 1 week. What we usually do is a prep week. We opened it up for anybody, so anybody could come and join us. And then they were given the opportunity to join us, and stay with us for the full 30 days. And that worked really well. We had a lot of people sign up, so that was really good. And then we have a lot of like older coaches that were like not as engaged with the group coming back, and so that worked really well for us. Now you know something that's not working well, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what's not working so well is recruiting for me. I don't know why, but I'm having a really hard time recruiting. I'm doing all the things that I've done in the past, but it's not working the same way that it used to. So I don't know if I also just made like a switch from like Facebook to Instagram. So I think I'm trying to figure out my market there still, and I'm still trying to figure out how to invite. It's like a different ball game over there. I feel like I'm like, learning something completely new. So that I'm struggling a little bit with that. So if you could give me a little bit of insight of like, things that are working for other coaches, that would be awesome.
That is a question that comes up most often. And I will tell you guys this. because social media is changing every day, especially with Facebook wanting to keep Facebook kind of pure and family oriented, and pushing businesses and brands to begin to build and house their content on Instagram. It's changing every single day. It's getting better every single day. And so the biggest takeaway from these tangible tips that I'm about to give you is do what we know to do now. Work with what we have now, and then take some time. Maybe it's a few minutes every day. Maybe it's a 30 minutes every week to learn something new, to watch a new video. Just because if we wait until we learn it all, we will literally be waiting forever. We will never go. And so I know it sounds pretty like, eye roll, but as I'm about to give you guys some tangible tips, but the biggest thing that I want you guys to take away is to start by doing what we already know to do. The kind of the basics, which is sharing what you're doing and why you're doing it, inviting people to do it with you, and showing up consistently, talking about the lifestyle and the opportunity and the trends that we're in. And I'll explain that in a second, with the same amount of enthusiasm that you use when you talk about your challenge group or the fitness or your physical transformation. And when I say talk about the trends that we're in, we are absolutely ending the trend of obesity. I think that that's the gateway. But we are ending so many more trends than just that of obesity. We're also ending the trend of loneliness. Where else would you be at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday? We're ending the trend of limiting beliefs and self-doubt and living paycheck to paycheck. We are ending so many trends, and there are stories that happen to you daily. Not just one story, but stories that happen to us daily that we can share that goes back to those trends that we're ending, and maybe how Beachbody has been a vessel in aiding your own personal end of those trends, or maybe the beginning of other trends and other legacies that you're leaving for your family. So that's probably the biggest takeaway, and just being I feel like bold is such a cliche word, but being bold with your posting. You know, yes, there's fear. Yes, there's anxiety. Yes, there might even be feelings that we don't feel like doing it. Do not allow those things to digress you or keep you stagnant. Use those as a tailwind. Put skin in the game. Reach out to your success partner. Hey, I know that I need to talk about the business. Like, I never have, and I know I do. I think I have a post. Can I run it by you? Okay, ran it by you. Okay, if I don't post this in the next 15 minutes, I owe you a foot massage. I owe you a date night. I owe you $100. Something you don't want to do, right? Put skin in the game. Okay, let me get you some tangible tips that you can do. We're talking about building on Instagram specifically. Okay, so some of these you guys might already know, so I apologize, but hey, I think that that's also great confirmation. And then after I go through some of these, I would love to open up the floor, because like I said at the beginning, I don't have it all. That's the beauty of the team. Okay, so a few things that we can do to build on Instagram. I already kind of mentioned some of those things that we should be talking about, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and inviting people to do it with us. Now, Bianca mentioned I'm figuring out my market, figuring my brand, and remember that there really is, like, being a human brand. I think that sometimes we try to fit ourselves in a box, like Coke or like Ziploc, like a brand that's never changing. We are a human brand, so we're ever changing. And so some things for you to consider as you're figuring out your market are, where are you at this moment? Like, at this moment, why has Beachbody been something that's benefited you or benefited your family? How has it? Also talking to who you were. I know that there's some people who are like, oh, be mindful of talking to who you were, because those people make a lot of excuses. Okay, well then talk to who you were after you made the decision, after enough was enough, after you said, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Talk about those people. Be descriptive in who you're looking for. And then kind of have a schedule to your posting. It doesn't have to be like, this is set in stone every single week, because I know that sometimes people don't thrive like that, but kind of know have a general understanding of what you're going to be talking about. Maybe every Tuesday is your Transformation Tuesday, where you post some sort of before and after picture. Maybe every Friday is a flashback Friday, where you talk about where you were mentally. And you talk about that internal transformation, or you talk about the legacy transformation, or you talk about the family transforming, or, have some sort of cadence. That way you can be consistent. So having a understanding that your brand is ever changing, and who we're talking to, and some ways that you can go about figuring out who you're talking to is where you're at right now and where you were before. But after you made the decision, after enough was enough, talk directly to that person, not to everybody. It's not, hey, y'all, it's, I got something for you. You need to hear this. So don't speak generally, speak directly to that one person. Okay. Okay. So we talked about being consistent. Okay. So this is something that we talk about. Business is sometimes risky and investing. And I think that this business model is one of the least risky investments, right? Like our startup cost is all for us. Like it's our opportunity to be selfishly generous. But one thing that you can do that some people are having good success in is this idea of collaboration. And so we talked about who you're talking to, where you're at right now, and where you were before after you start making the decisions. Are there other brands? Are there other social media influencers that also speak to that, to that group, to you, to your people? And if so, then you can reach out to them about collaborating. And that's called shout outs. Now, I don't want to get too detailed. I'm going to keep it real high level. But if that's something that you're like, I want to learn more about shout outs, and maybe if that will work for me, you can Google it. You can talk to an upline, talk to your success partner. But I won't go too detailed. But that's a great way for you to begin to reach out to new people. The best way, how many people are like within their first 6 months of building this? Okay, welcome to the family. I mean, even if you're a year in, you're still new. Welcome to the family. The best thing you can do while you are beginning to penetrate what we call your cold market, that's people that you're beginning to know, is who you already know. So tagging your spouse is a great way to begin to penetrate his friends and his family, and asking for referrals is a great way for you to begin to expand your network in order to potentially have more people to invite and help. So building your warm market while you are penetrating your cold market. All right, let's see. So we talked about sharing your stories already. Write this down. You do not have to be, scratch. It's okay to be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. I think that oftentimes we're not being real. We're not being real with the time commitment, the peaks and valleys. We're not being real with exactly where we're at right now. Or we feel like we have to say it a certain way or look a certain way or whatever. You don't have to be perfect. It's okay to be a masterpiece and a working person at the same time. It's okay to be a coach and be a student at the same time. So post like it's okay to be a masterpiece and a working person at the same time. Okay, so let's see if we have some more on Instagram. Who has something for us on Instagram recruiting? Anything working well for you guys in regards to Instagram?
I'll go ahead and share. Instagram is my jam right now. I use the stories and the polls. I'm always looking for ways to engage people. So just a quick example, I was making scrambled eggs for the boys and I did a poll, brown eggs, white eggs. And that got like 75 people just commenting. And then today, I was asking, I just always am asking questions. So I always preach, become a professional question asker. Just those little things, because those are people, if they're engaging with me, those are people that I've been starting conversations with. And today when I did my power hour before this call, I was going through the messages and I realized these are people that I talked to. One I talked to a year ago when I was in my postpartum journey. And she was just like, oh my gosh, she's like, I love your stories. And if I hadn't been doing that, I mean, there's a lot of people that do look, but if I wasn't doing those polls and I wasn't going through the follow-up, I wouldn't have known that. I wouldn't have known that I've been helping her from a distance. So that's been really helping me a whole bunch right now is the engagement piece.
That's great. That's great. Anybody else? Don't be shy. It doesn't matter how new or tenured you are. Well, while you guys are thinking of some things that are working well on Instagram, Kristen mentioned Instagram stories. Who is using Instagram stories? Okay, how are you guys using them?
Hey.
Hey.
So, I never used stories before because I was silly and shy and thought I wasn't interesting. And now that I've been doing stories, I used to overshare, I think, my workouts. I just posted like way too many moves, which was ridiculous. So now I'm posting at least like 3 moves, but then trying to show my personality more. I show my kids, I show what we're doing, and I get crazy messages, like people are interacting or laughing, and it's just starting up tons of new conversations that I never had before. So stories is pretty powerful for sure.
I love that. And it goes back to that being a masterpiece and a work in progress. Like sometimes we hold ourselves back because we're like, well, my life is not exciting. Guys, what we have to offer is very exciting. And so just share it. Just share it. Even if you don't think it's very exciting, someone may be needing to see that there's hope. They need to hear your story because remember, we're not just showing them like life today, but we're telling them about life how it was before. And maybe they're right there where you used to be and they're just thinking that this is it. This is all that my life has succumbed to. Like, this is it for me. And they're watching you and they're inspired by you sharing your lifestyle and sharing your journey. And it's totally okay to post and be a masterpiece in work in progress. That is good. Thank you for sharing that, Ashley.
Sure.
So that's how she's using Instagram stories. So asking questions and doing the poll option. One fun thing to do with the poll option is always make the possibilities positive. Unless it's, something just funny. But meaning if you're saying, I want to learn more about my 5-day fitness boot camp, yes or heck yes. So always making them positive. So using those Instagram stories to interact, to engage, to ask questions, to get questions answered, and then taking those viewers and reaching out to those viewers, taking that opportunity to say, hey, thanks for watching my story. Based on what the story was about, you can maybe invite them to something. If they are someone that consistently watches it, be bold and say, hey, I noticed that you've been watching a lot. Do you have any questions? I would love to talk more. I mean, do that within reason. I'm talking off the top of my head right now. But in addition to messaging those viewers, I think that one thing that I often hear is something that's a missed opportunity in regards to Instagram and our influence is messaging our new followers. Do you guys do that? Now there are apps that actually will do that for you. And I can actually pull out a document. I think I have a document that has a list of those apps. But there are apps that you can use that do that. But man, how great of an opportunity is it to say, hey, thank you so much for following my page. So messaging viewers or messaging new followers, showing your lifestyle then and now, maybe even hosting, what do you do? It doesn't have to be a sneak peek. It doesn't have to be anything formal. But what is it that you do? How do you manage? Maybe that's the question. If you're getting a question about time management or the objection of I don't have time, I can't do what you do, show them how you manage it. Show them how you mom so hard and how you wife so hard and how you also CEO it so hard. So take them through the day. And again, it doesn't have to be anything formal. Maybe it's something like, you know what, I've been getting a lot of questions lately about how I manage everything that I have going on, and run a business also. So I'm going to take you guys through a day in life. Here's the pickup line. drinking my pixie dust, getting ready to work out, have 30 minutes in this. I mean, just be yourself. Right. And I know that that's like another one of those cliche, be yourself, but truly just, it might seem like I cannot believe I am really recording a video of me going through the pickup line, drinking my but I promise you, someone wants to watch it. Someone needs to watch it, maybe even, not even just want. Okay. You guys got anything else? I think I might have a couple more things. So another thing that I have is you can now send video message in direct messenger. And what I've heard is that has been a great way to close people. I use close because lack of better terms, but to close people. So getting on video, sending them a video messenger through direct message on Instagram. And hey, I'm so excited. Maybe you sent them out the link. Maybe they've ghosted you. Hey, I'm so excited. I sent you over the link. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want to hop on the phone. Send them a quick little video.
Keichun, can I stop you there for 1 minute? So for newer coaches, say in the first 6 months, I'm telling you, have a lot of overachievers and perfectionists on this call right now. A lot of them are busy working moms. A lot of them have mastered the 4 vital behaviors in the sense that they can work out. They can drink their unicorn juice, which is what we call it, #unicorn juice. They are rocking their challenge groups. They're following up with their challengers. What I find, the problem I'm having right now for my team is I'm finding that they are really struggling to have conversations with people. It's like we have become trapped or scared of reaching out to people. We have no problems posting. We have no problems. I mean, I see the same coaches looking at my stories every single day, yet they haven't posted a thing online. They haven't, I asked them, they're like, I haven't reached out to this person. I'm like, oh, you have such amazing content. You have such an amazing story to share. And I just don't know what to say. So like these videos that you're talking about, I think those are great ideas. What can I do as a leader to better help them with, is it a script? Is it a sample script? Is it a sample video as far as closing? Like what would help these newer coaches to not overwhelm them and they're like shut down mode and then they check out and then they're just scrolling Facebook or Instagram. It's kind of where I'm at. That makes sense. Yes.
Okay. Oh, you're kind of breaking up a little bit. Is she breaking up for everybody or just me?
Who?
So I caught the first part. You broke up on the last part. Okay. But if I'm understanding, it's these people are kicking butt. This team right here, they have gotten those 4 vitals. And now we're kind of on like 2.0. We're on these conversations and I'm doing it, and maybe even we're getting people to watch. We're getting likes and comments already. Like we are expanding our network, but it's now what next? What do I say? Is that what I'm understanding? Yeah. Okay. So a couple things with that. One thing that a few of my leaders have begun to do, and this is as of late, so this is not something that I can give you real success stories just yet, but as of right now, since they've implemented, they have gotten some success. And this is doing a group together. So I've heard it called all kind of things, from Snoop groups to info groups to just all different types of names. But the objective in this group is, one, for you guys to have a central place that you are inviting your interested coach prospects to. And there's a series of videos. And so it's not like they're coming into this group and they're not hearing from you. No. They're absolutely hearing from you on the front end, on the back end. But Kristen, as someone who is maybe more tenured in closing, you are that final video. And so my leaders, they're that closing video.
Would it go live? Because Bianca and I, we have sneak peeks for the Tubi, we have sneak peeks for Lyft, we have a sneak peek group for 80 Day Obsession. So we have those groups set up. But would you suggest maybe getting in there live or having the leaders? Like, what is the setup? Because we do have that model right now to help them to invite people into that that unit setting. But is it live? Is it keeping the group open and then just recycling the videos, or opening another group? Like, what are you hearing or finding?
So, and what I mentioned is specifically for the sneak peeks into coaching, okay. But I think that we can use kind of that same approach even with these fitness sneak peeks. And because you guys have been giving them whatever you give them over the course of however long your sneak peeks are, and you've been talking to them, you invited them on the front end and probably had conversations leading up to that final yes. You've been talking to them throughout. And so this final video, this final closing is kind of this, so this is what to expect. This is how we do it. And then you, as their coach, the person who brought them in, now is your responsibility to do the follow-up. So, hey, we sent you over, we got you everything set up. Did you get it? Do you have questions? We'd love to hop on the phone. Notice that I keep saying hop on the phone. One, because if you guys are busy, chances are hopping on the phone is going to be a lot quicker than anything else. But also in 2018, in the social media days, that makes you more real. It's not just a sale. It's a person. It's a heart. It's someone with pure intentions. But you as their coach then does the follow-up. But Kristen, Bianca, whoever the leader is, you guys would kind of do that final video, that closing, that this is the last step.
I like it. Thank you.
But before all that, when we talk about we're struggling with conversations, my first question would be why? And this is something that you would have to, I challenge you to be real with yourself. Why are you struggling with the conversations? Is it truly a fear of not knowing what to say? Because that's something that we can figure out right now. And if that is you, then raise your hand. Tell us what you have. Let's tweak it right here. That's what this conversation is for. Is it a fear of not being a masterpiece? I'm a coach, and a coach is supposed to be perfect. No. We've already debunked that myth. Is it, I don't know if I will be a good leader. Maybe I'm bringing these people in, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to lead them to success. Well, that's what this team is for. People on this team, people in your organization have proven that it can be done. And man, oh man, is that empowering to know. So even if you don't feel like you're a good leader right now, do it. Try it. I'm almost positive that, well, I won't say that, but maybe for my moms, maybe when you found out you were pregnant with your first, you were like, how the heck am I going to be bringing a human into this world, and I'm responsible for them for the next 18 years and to care for them, make sure that they eat and clean? What? I have to clean the baby? I don't take showers every day myself, right? And so there are other things in your life that you weren't quite sure how you were going to be able to navigate or manage, and you came out on top, even with bumps and bruises, and even with days that you didn't feel like you were a good mom. But man, on those days that your teenager says, I love you, mom, and you're the bomb, man, you just want to do backflips, right? And it's kind of the same thing with coaching. So all that to say, let's figure out what the root cause of that is, of you not having or wanting to do conversations. And let's manage up. If it's maybe you don't feel like it, well, let's, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's put skin in the game, like I mentioned earlier. And let's focus on just doing one. Like sometimes we stun ourselves to like, I'm going to do 10 today. I'm going to do 10. And it's like, just do one. Just do one. Did that kind of answer your question?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they do everything else. It's just, I don't know if that's just Bianca and I's fault, because we really just love sharing the vital behaviors. We get them confident. We really help them with mindset shifts, personal development, huge things like that. They do everything else. But when they're like, hey, did you, reach out or talk to somebody? It's like everybody has forgotten forgotten how to be friends. They're like, no, I don't know how to talk to people. I'm like, no, yeah, you do. You talk to me every day, or I don't know how to invite. And I guess I can't stress enough of, this is thinking of just like a really big girlfriend thing, like a virtual boot camp. And I want everybody on board, and I want everybody part of our party. And how can I help them overcome the fear? So maybe, having them hear it from you of, it's, something's not going to come out of their phone with a big scary mouth and bite them or anything. It's really just letting go of that fear and then getting consistent with it.
Danielle would like to make a suggestion. Yes, of course. Please.
Okay, so I've been a coach for a while, and I just recently started actually like getting out of my head and actually coaching and talking to people. What has worked for me, where I don't feel it's as scary, which I think that's what most people think is scary, as like I mostly work on Instagram. So I'll go to any business post, like anywhere that I talk about me working or anything that has to do with my workouts or my shake, and I see who liked it. I will go to them and I will just say, thanks for loving on my post. Are you, like, do you do anything for health and fitness? Do you go to the gym? Do you work out at home? Like, I see you have kids. Like, I just take one little thing to relate it back, but just opening it up with, thanks for loving on my post. Like, I appreciate it.
I love that. It's like breathe and go with that post, like what you were talking about, that post, and find someone and just talk like you would talk. That's great, Danielle. I'm so happy that you shared that with us.
Oh, thank you. Real quick, Danielle, whose team are you with?
Angelica Last.
Yay! Oh, thank you so much for hopping on. I love her. She is awesome. Angelica is, her mom is Kelly Girls, the one that we met at the pool at Summit. So that's so cool. Thanks for being on. It's like full circle moment.
But maybe, guys, we take it old school and we role play. I mean, role play. Say it. It might be weird, right? But let's see. I think it also has to do with the 100% confidence in programs. Yes. Going back to Beat Your Best. If you don't feel confident in talking about what you're doing because you're not actually doing it, then let's start by doing it. But I have a feeling that that's not maybe this group. But the confidence comes with doing. The confidence comes with taking action, period. Let's see, like knowing in your heart that what you offer is huge value and it's benefited your life. That's great, Keisha. I hope I'm saying your name right. That's kind of like knowing that your intentions are pure, knowing that this opportunity has the potential to change holistic lives and the trajectories of families and the legacies that people are leaving. And that's just what we're sharing. And if someone perceives it wrong, that's on them. That's not us. But if we don't allow people the opportunity to reject us, because it just sheer fact that we're not like taking the next step to converse with them, then then basically that's kind of like we're just rejecting ourselves. Like we're rejecting ourselves before we allow someone else to reject us. And in my opinion, self-rejection is just as uncomfortable as being rejected in the first place. Does that make sense? That was kind of a lot of rejects and subjects.
Yes.
So knowing that, and maybe you do have a list of questions. Maybe you do. I know that I was recently at a team retreat, and one thing that this leader does is she helps her coaches come up with a script that's their own based on something that she's already kind of catered to, but she literally will work with the coach and they come up with a script, and then she says, go send this to 5 people, go send this to 10 people.
I love that. Hold on. Let me write that down. Did you guys hear that? Where are my leaders at? Write that down. I love that idea. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Also something that I've been doing with some of my girls to help them is I will literally screenshot conversations that have led to a challenge pack or a coach sign up or whatever, just to show like how I went from just, the hello or how we talked and the segue into, the opportunity. I think it's really helpful to see that you're not just messaging people and being like, hey, want to join my challenge group? I mean, nobody responds to that. That it never works, and I think that when you think and when you're saying out loud, like you need to be messaging people, that's what you're thinking. You automatically are like, but I feel icky doing that. Like, I don't want to be like, hey, I saw you like my post, want to join? Like, no, the whole point is to build relationships. Like some of these people, they take days, weeks, even months. Some people I have watched me for years before they're like, all right, I'm in. You know what I mean? It's like you're building relationships. You're not just coming up with a script that's going to work that day. And I think that what you have to get through your head is that sending a message today does not mean you're getting a challenge pack today. You're basically working on people for the next month or months. So that's why you constantly have to be reaching out to people, because those turn into people later on. But
amen, sister.
I think that sharing conversations, real conversations, is very helpful. I know it helped me in the beginning a lot, just to be like, okay, she said this. If you get similar responses, you kind of know how to maybe bring them back, and it builds your confidence to know that somebody had the similar conversation and I know a way to maybe word it to get my point across. I don't know, seeing real conversations that worked is helpful, even still, and I've been a coach for a while. So
that's a great point, and I definitely have heard other leaders having success with that too, Ashley. So that's great. And be mindful also that what you do today and tomorrow definitely affects who you become a year from now, but not because you did it perfectly. It's going to affect you because you did it, period. And so maybe you're like, oh man, I was going to converse with that person and I was so close, but I was going to say, hey, I saw that you liked my post and do you want to join? And I just said, don't say that. So now I'm stunted. Guys, if that's what we need to say right now to get started, say it. You'll never say the wrong thing to the right person, and we will get better.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Some people are the people that you can just straight up be like, look, you've been creeping for a while. I know you want to join. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain people you got to know, and that's why you have to have conversations. You have to know who's watching you, because you can feel people out that way. There are people you can straight up invite right there, right then. But there are so many people that watch you for so long and pretend like they don't care, but they're watching you. And those are the people you got to ease in the right way. That's all I'm saying.
The one thing I did with my team, I hope you guys can hear me, I'm driving, but one thing I did with my team was I had every single person write down what caused them to sign up. Because I think if we get so caught up in inviting in scripts and it gets into these sales hat, which we don't want anyone to have, but something triggered every one of us to sign up at a certain time. We could have been watching someone for months and months and months, and something triggered with us. And I can guarantee it wasn't a sales pitch. It was something that triggered somewhere because the timing was right. So I think that a lot of times we're all trying to conform to, well, we need to follow this script and follow this script. But I'm sure that a lot of us did not fall for a script. It was something else. So I had my whole team go back and write down when they signed up, what were they feeling? What were they thinking? What made them say now is the time? Because if they can get back to the root cause, they're trying to attract another one of themselves, you have to get back to what it really was in their heart that they were feeling at the time.
That's a great point. You know, you guys create these scripts, and these scripts are not like a copy and paste. They're to be inspired by. It's like your list of questions to come back to, like, I'm kind of stunted on what to say. Well, let's go back to some things that maybe I've asked before that were a great opportunity for me to get to know someone better in order for me to better serve them. Your success is based on the people that you impact, the lives that you impact, and that impact comes from your what's the word? Your realness, your authenticity. Oh, it comes from your realness, your authenticity. But know that scripts allow us to put our words down, put our thoughts down. It has a list of questions to come back to be inspired by, but it's not a copy and paste. That is absolutely inauthentic. I agree with you 100%. We don't want to just copy and paste. But also times have changed, guys. You know, like I said earlier, Facebook, who owns Instagram, is absolutely pushing brands and influencers over on Instagram and to talk about what they do, to talk about their brand. And it's almost like it's the perfect place for people who are already kind of entrepreneur savvy. So don't be timid to reach out to someone who's already doing a business. Don't be timid. But it's also, and this is for lack of better words, almost a great place for people who just want to be sold. Like they're looking for a way out. They're looking for stores. They're looking for people to follow. So know that times have changed and Instagram is not Facebook. And so you can be more bold with what you're doing and inviting people to do it with you.
I love that. Did that help, guys? Did that spark some interest in what you want to get accomplished? Awesome. What else is not going well? I'm trying to think of what other things, if you guys want to put in the chat box or unmute yourself. Pick her brain. I'm telling you, she works with top dogs and top teams. She's seen a lot. She's got a lot of information and resources, and I do not have the answers to everything. So when I need something, I go to her, I go to Craig, I go to Kim Carver, I go to Carlos. Like, we go to these mentors because they work with top dog teams. They work with the $1 million teams. So please ask. Ooh.
So just want to share this with you guys. This is, we conducted a survey towards the beginning of this year, and we released it at New Leader Conference, and we call it our increasers. So these were people in 2017 who had a substantial increase in their business. I believe that it was at least 100% increase, but I don't want to lie about the number, but had a substantial increase in their business over the course of a year. And these were the things that we found in our survey. We surveyed all of them, a couple hundred. And these are some of the commonalities that we found that they were doing. So all things that we've kind of already talked about, all things that we really already know. So just wanted to share that this is something that, you know, it's successfully clues. Kristen, you just mentioned I work with Top, and you're right. And this is literally what the Top are doing.
Love it. I took a picture of it, guys, if you didn't get it. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, completely agree. You guys got anything? Anyone? What's something that you wish right now, if you were like, man, I really wish I could do this, or I had this, or I wish she told me this, or I wish I knew how to do this. Could you finish that sentence?
I probably can.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes. I think the piece that I am working on the most right now, because I am so new at Instagram. I'm new at the coaching. Facebook market is really hot, so I'm going there. I've got 1,000 followers on Facebook, so I'm good there. Really having success, but I'm trying to grow my Instagram kind of in the background. I did not even have Instagram before. I'm a little older than maybe some of these other coaches. So I'm trying to grow my following, I guess, on Instagram. And that to me has been a little bit more challenging. I think I'm trying to be a little too authentic when I connect with people. I don't know. I just don't understand how people go from 500 followers to 10,000 followers, I guess.
You're never too authentic. I'm sorry. That's just on my heart to say. Don't stop doing that. But I will say this, and please chime in. Some of the leaders that I work with, even for their newer coaches, as their newer, if their newer coaches are aggressively trying to build their followers, and maybe aggressive does not mean organically, they're using other platforms like STEM Social, which is a paid platform, a paid for platform. They're using apps that will go in and like other people's, follow other people's, like other people's, and in the hopes of gaining followers. That shout out, that collaboration, they're doing that. That's a great way for you to build your following. Using geotags, follow for follow. Geotags are when you tag your specific location in your stories, especially, as well as in your feed. So those are just, candidly, for those people who are going from 500 to 5,000 overnight, it's not as organic as you think. Now, I'm not saying that these people aren't converting into anything. They're with some of these paid apps, they really do a good job of making sure that the people that they are attracting to you are your people based on the criteria that you set for it. But that's how they're going about it. And so, I don't know. I mentioned at the beginning that my favorite thing to talk about, the biggest thing that I have overcome is mindset. And so as you are doing what you need to do to expand your network and attract new followers, just know that consistency will get you to where you're trying to go. And I like metaphors. It's kind of like this labor and delivery. Right? It's like sometimes we just expect to like get on Instagram and like all of a sudden have 10,000 followers. I want the swipe up feature, and it's like, no, there's labor before the delivery, and the labor is sometimes quite painful for everybody, right? But that labor is what's necessary for the delivery. So as you're doing what you need to do to increase your followership, continue to do that. There are some great platforms. If investing in those platforms is something that you are able to do, I definitely suggest doing that, because there are some perks in gaining those followers, and having that swipe up feature and things like that. Bianca just mentioned I do Stem Social. I also find hashtags, and I follow the 50 most recent posts every day. It works. So there we go. That's a great one. Same, I use Stem Social. So I've heard Stem Social a lot, y'all. A lot. A lot of people have had some good success with increasing their followers like overnight with it. It actually is great to push to engage with people, says Nisha.
Yeah, we've worked with Stem Social, our team has, but there's also a guy that I'm in contact with, guys. A lot of the up leaders have suggested, so I've been in contact with this person. I've tried a different couple so far. Stem Social has been the most affordable, a lot for newer coaches, and it's been great. It's been helping a lot, but there are other ones too. So maybe Keichun, you mentioned an app, a document on an app. I wrote that down in my notes for Instagram. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, let me just pull it up really quick.
And maybe we could get that, and then you guys could trial. But yeah, we've been using Stem Social since Mexico, I think. That worked well.
So some of these you might already know. We talked about Stem Social already. Follow liker is much more than keeping track of who follows back. Another is this VIP. No, wait, where is it? It's the assistant. I don't know where it's at actually. Maybe I don't have it in here. There's another one. Now I'm forgetting the name of it. I had it on top of my tongue. But anyway, so these are some that a lot of my leaders are using and what they're used for. So feel free to.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
No problem.
Awesome. Okay, so let's see. The time is 9:56, so we've got 4 minutes left. If you guys would like to ask me more questions, or we can have Keichun close it out with a little inspiration, whatever you would like. Anybody else have anything on their hearts or their minds that they want to get out, and they're like, man, I really want to ask this now?
Cleaner is good to unfollow those. Yeah.
We didn't follow you back. Yes. Yes, just clean them out. Anyone? All right. Well, thank you, Keichun, for hopping on with us. I hope that you guys found some helpful tips in this call. I know I did. I have a ton of notes. I can't wait to go back and go through. But Keichun, if you want to close this out and just give some motivation for these girls, I would greatly appreciate it. And I thank you so much for taking the time. I know you don't do nighttime calls, but we really appreciate it. So thank you.
I totally do nighttime calls, but let's see
You're
what I got. What'd you say?
You're a busy girl, though.
Okay. Let's see. The biggest thing I have is that there's no better time like now. You know, we have had just such an incredible 2018 with the launches and the programs and products that have come out that have allowed us to be able to help more people. And then coming out of Summit, and it's like Summit was even more fire, and we had the opportunity to see what was coming in the future, and we know that there's even more in store. And so I just really feel like there is no better time like now to be a part of Team Beachbody. And this was truly the summit, regardless if you attended or not, to come out believing. And I feel like everything related back to our theme of believe in yourself, the stories, the team recognition, the trainings, the workshops, the panelists, everything. And I believe that this summit and that theme, that believe in you, reminded us that the power is not in duplicating the increasers list or duplicating exactly what you say to close someone or to invite someone or to follow up with someone. It's not in duplicating exactly what you're doing on a day-to-day basis or how you run your groups. But I feel like this summit was a good reminder that we want to be duplicating the relentless pursuit in believing in yourself. And it's an everyday fight. And it's an everyday fight to stay out of your comfort zone, because eventually that thing that was uncomfortable becomes more comfortable. And I think that it's kind of the same thing in believing in yourself. And that's what we want to duplicate. Duplicate sharing your stories, and duplicate those conversations that you're willing to have, and duplicate your willingness to fail forward. Meaning, I may not know what I'm doing. I'm going in this blind, but I believe in what we're doing. I believe in our mission. I believe in the people who have done it before me. And darn it, I'm just going to do this and do it unapologetically and do it boldly and with confidence. Know that confidence comes within that doing, and not doing it sprinting every day, but just showing up every day and getting uncomfortable every single day. So that's what I want to leave you with. The power, the momentum that we have right now, the power that we feel right now, that is the best script. The excitement that we have right now and the enthusiasm that we have for what has happened and what is to come, that's our best script. Let's duplicate our willingness to share our excitement. I challenge you guys to share your excitement, not in a post, but in a conversation, in the background, because that's where the magic happens. That's where the opportunity to change real lives and families' lives happens, not waiting for people to come to you. If we wait for people to come to us, we will be waiting forever, and we will not live up to our full potential, and we darn sure won't be giving people the real chance that they have to change their lives. So don't shortchange them, don't shortchange yourself, and let's go out and use this power as our script, as our momentum to carry us through the end of this year, especially the end of this month, and heck, the end of your day, because that's our fight, to fall through your finish line, how you define falling and how you define your finish line every single day. Let's beat our best this month, and not just earning those medals, but beat your best mentality.
Yes. Woo! I'm fired up now, and I gotta go. Oh, that hurts. Oh, let me just calm it down for a second. I'm good, y'all. Thank you, Keichun. Guys, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for hopping on. I'm going to get this recording up for you all, and I can't wait to follow up and give Keichun a follow-up of how you guys are doing. So make sure you stay in touch. I will send her what you guys are doing, and if you beat yourself and beat yourself mindset for this month. So thanks, everyone.